This Wednesday evening invites us into a scene that feels both heavy and hopeful. The early church is under pressure, yet something unexpected begins to unfold, and Bishop Fulton Sheen will quietly challenge us with a choice. In our Wednesday evening reflection from the Acts of the Apostles, chapter 8, there broke out a severe persecution of the church in Jerusalem, and all were scattered throughout the countryside of Judea and Samaria. Saul, meanwhile, was trying to destroy the church, entering house after house and dragging out men and women, and he handed them over for imprisonment. It's a stark beginning. The church isn't thriving in comfort. It's being shaken. People are fleeing, families are disrupted, and the fear is real. Stephen has just been martyred, and now the ripple effects spread throughout the whole community. There's something deeply human here. When pressure comes, when life becomes uncertain, our instinct is often to pull back, to protect, to hold on to whatever stability we can find. These early Christians were not immune to that reality. They were scattered, displaced, and grieving. And yet something unexpected happens in the middle of that disruption. Now those who had been scattered went about preaching the word. Not just the apostles, not just the leaders, ordinary believers, scattered and unsettled, carried the message with them. They didn't wait for perfect conditions. They didn't wait until things felt safe again. They brought Christ into unfamiliar places simply by continuing to live what they had received. That detail matters for us because it shows us that faith isn't confined to stability. It doesn't depend on everything being in order. In fact, sometimes it becomes the most visible when life is going sideways or backwards. Philip goes down to Samaria, already a place of tension and division, and proclaimed the Christ to them. And the response is striking. With one accord, the crowds paid attention. They heard it and saw the signs he was doing. There's movement here. Not just survival, but transformation. Unclean spirits cast out. The sick are healed. And then this simple but powerful line. There was great joy in that city. The result? Joy. Not in Jerusalem where things were familiar, but in a place reached through scattering and hardship. That's not the outcome anyone would have predicted at the start of the passage. In contrast to the chaos, the church gives us the voice of Psalm 66, like a steady current running beneath the unfolding events. Let all the earth cry out to God with joy. Say to God, how tremendous are your deeds. It's a bold response, especially when placed next to persecution. The psalm doesn't deny hardship. It lifts our eyes through it. It reminds us that God's work is often larger than what we immediately see. Come and see the works of God, his tremendous deeds among the children of Adam. There's an invitation here, not to ignore suffering, but to look again, to notice where God is moving, even when the path feels confusing or unwanted. The early Christians didn't choose persecution, but in the middle of it, something real took root. Faith moved outward. Hope reached new places. Joy appeared where it wasn't expected. And maybe that touches something close to home, because most of us know what it feels like when life doesn't go as planned, when something shifts, when we're pushed into unfamiliar territory, when comfort is taken away. It might not look like persecution, but it still unsettles us. And in those moments, the question quietly emerges: what do we carry with us? Do we carry fear alone, or do we carry something deeper? This is where the invitation becomes personal, not dramatic, not overwhelming, just steady and real. To recognize that even in disruption, our faith is not lost. It goes with us. It can still take root, still reach others, still bear fruit in ways we may not immediately see. God is not absent in the scattering. He is already present in what comes next. The psalm gently anchors us there. Let all the earth cry out to God with joy. Not because everything is easy, but because His work continues, often quietly, often unexpectedly. So tonight, as the day settles, we're not asked to understand every difficulty. We're simply invited to notice where we've been stretched, where we've been displaced, where things haven't gone as planned, and to trust that God is still working within it. Maybe it's in a conversation that didn't seem important. Maybe it's in a small act of patience or kindness that felt like no big deal. Maybe it's just in the quiet endurance of the day. The path may not look the way we expected, but grace is not limited by that. Even there, perhaps especially there, something good can begin to grow. Hello friends, it's Aaron. Welcome to the Sacred Heart family, where we pray together, walk with the saints, and reflect on the gospel every day. If this evening's reflection brings you peace, please like and subscribe. As we prepare our hearts for rest, we now turn to the wisdom of Bishop Fulton Sheen. To every Christian, there comes the supreme moment when he must choose between temporal pleasure and eternal freedom. In order to save our souls, we must often run the risk of losing our bodies. There's a quiet seriousness in those words, not harsh, but clear. At some point, faith asks something real of us, not just belief in the abstract, but a decision that touches how we live, what we value, and what we're willing to let go of. The early Christians in tonight's reading faced that kind of moment. Their comfort, their security, even their safety were no longer guaranteed. And yet they didn't abandon what they had received. They carried it forward, even when it cost them something. Sheen's words bring that into our own lives, though often in quieter ways. We may not face persecution, but we do face choices, small, daily ones. Choosing integrity when it would be easier to compromise. Choosing patience when frustration feels justified. Choosing prayer when distraction pulls us elsewhere. And sometimes choosing what is right does feel like a kind of loss. It can cost us convenience, approval, or ease and comfort. It can feel like we're giving something up without seeing an immediate return. But Sheen points us toward a deeper truth, that what we're really choosing is freedom. Not the kind that comes from having everything we want, but the kind that comes from being rooted in something lasting, something everlasting. Because when we hold too tightly to what is temporary, we can slowly lose sight of what matters most. And when we're willing to let go, even a little, we begin to experience a different kind of strength. This isn't about dramatic sacrifice. It's about quiet fidelity. It's about recognizing that our lives are shaped by the choices we make when no one is watching, when no one is applauding, when it's simply between us and God. And in that space, a quiet steadiness grows. So tonight there's no need to examine everything at once. Just one simple question is enough. Where did I have the chance today to choose what truly matters? Maybe we saw it, maybe we missed it. Either way, grace is still present. And tomorrow will bring another chance. I invite you to share your intentions in the comments of the video so that the Sacred Heart family may walk with you in faith and charity. Please join me in our Catholic evening prayers, uniting our hearts with the Church's April devotion to the Holy Eucharist. Click the link in the pinned comment now, and I'll see you there. I'd like to invite everybody to start visiting the website, sacredheartpreciousblood.com. The homepage is designed as a prayer hub with everything in one easy-to-use place. God bless.